Who could have possibly predicted that HBO's The Last of Us Season 2 wouldn't exactly go as smoothly as Season 1 did? Well, I don't know. Maybe every single person that was around for the release of the second game, The Last of Us Part 2, which was met with massive division and criticism from fans of the franchise, maybe they were the ones that were telling you for 5 years that if you adapt this game, if you kill Joel this way, if you push this character, if you have Ellie do these things that are insufferable, then people aren't going to like it. Well, HBO went ahead and rolled out Season 2 of The Last of Us after a very successful Season 1. And very predictably, to anyone that was paying attention, it failed. The Last of Us ratings declined during Season 2. But why? Says Hollywood Reporter. Now, this is in the aftermath of the next set of Nielsen ratings being released throughout the season. Now, of course, Nielsen ratings track about a month behind everything else, so that's why you see a little bit delay for some things that are coming out. But we already know that it just continued to get worse for them in terms of the ratings. The finale drew over 50% less than the finale of Season 1. You lost half of your audience, over half of your audience. And if you're asking why, it's because people hated it. It's because people hated the storyline in the game, which we've gone about over and over again. People hated The Last of Us Part 2. It was massively divisive. It was like The Last Jedi in a way, but for video games. That's how this went. And then you decided to adapt that, something that is despised by people, something that they hate the creator for doing. You decide to adapt that, and you're shocked. I can't believe that it didn't work out very well for us. 37% on Rotten Tomatoes right now for Last of Us Season 2. Well, the creator of the show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits Season 2 was a failure. Now, he does it in a very, very self-congratulatory way, basically taking the slightest bit of accountability for people not liking it, but also saying that, well, you know, the reason that it wasn't received well is because we set the bar so high in Season 1. Any other video game adaptations, they're all crap before that. We set the bar really high, so we've really done this to ourselves, which is an interesting way to look at it. We kind of fucked ourselves. The Last of Us creator discusses Season 2's lessons and new pressures after a groundbreaking 96% Rotten Tomatoes first season. Well, what was the second season? Oh yeah, that's right. 37%. The Last of Us showrunner co-creator Craig Mazin discussed the new challenges they faced and the lessons they learned with Season 2, which received a divisive response from fans. After Last of Us Season 1 set a new standard for game adaptations, winning 8 Emmy Awards, the expectations for Last of Us Season 2 were sky high. Following The Last of Us Season 2 finale, which was released on May 25th, 2025, many viewers expressed their discouragement with the quality and direction of Season 2 at large, which earned a 37% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, yeah, people didn't like it when they killed Joel in the video game, and then when you killed Joel in the same way, they didn't like that either. It's weird. It's almost like people really cared about that character and thought it was ridiculous the way that you killed him off and why you did so. It's almost like people aren't receptive to Ellie on her own, to Ellie as a lesbian, to Ellie, I'm gonna be a dad, and also just to the casting of Ellie in general, because she looks quite frankly fucking ridiculous. It's almost like people don't want to sit through an Abby series for Season 3, which is what you've already told them. So here's Craig Mazin responding to some of this. There's this thing that happens when you're making the first season of something where you truly are just rolling down a hill on fire. If you stay alive, that's a huge achievement. If a show comes out, that's amazing. The second season comes with so many expectations, and we did learn a lot of lessons. And the problem with learning lessons is then you have to be accountable to those lessons. You're not allowed to make those mistakes anymore, which is tragic. You do feel pressure to somehow fulfill what people want, but also surprise them. You're now a topic of discussion, whereas before you're just new and surprising. I mean, the bar for video game adaptations was pretty low. We had that going for us in Season 1. Now we kind of fucked ourselves. So you see what I mean? It's all like, well, you know, it's really hard to get something made, and it's just such an incredible achievement in what we did, and there was so much pressure on us for this, and, you know, we kind of let people down, but really it's because we set the bar so high. The reason you let people down, the reason this was rejected, for the most part, was because you decided to take something that fans hated, that fans of the franchise hated, and adapt that, and add in even more, like, nonsense to it, to be honest, to make it even worse in some ways. You decided to take that, and you're somehow surprised that the audience reacted the exact same way as they did 5 years ago. This is one of the cases, right? We talk about staying true to the source material and stuff like that. If the source material is despised in this way, you probably shouldn't make season 2, period. You probably shouldn't do it. You should probably just let it go. You should probably just walk off into the sunset. But if you're insistent that you need to, maybe you should consider listening to what the fans had to say about that adaptation, listening to the way it was received and why, and maybe taking that into consideration. But you didn't. Because, those are just angry haters. Those are just bots out there that are disliking this thing. Those aren't real people. They're just haters. No, those people are the majority. And now we're finding out why. You lost over half your audience, just like the Part 2, Last of Us Part 2, lost nearly half of its fan base when you look at the total sales for that game versus the first game. Despite a lot of excitement from people, despite a lot of energy from people about what they could do and really invested in the next part of the story, you fucked it up. Now we did it again. This is so easily avoidable. For 5 years, people have been saying this. Since the game came out, 2020? People have been saying if you do adapt that, it will be a disaster because the story is a disaster and people do not like it. Yet they went ahead and did it. And now, not only are they forced to admit the massive ratings decline and kind of admit that maybe we fucked up a little bit, instead you want to give yourself a pat on the back and saying the only reason it wasn't well received is because we did just such a good job on the first season. Kind of a cop-out, if you ask me. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.